Hey there, CJ Math students. So I'm going to help you out with homework 3.15, percent equation, percent quantity using the percent equation, and basically using the proportion that we set up. Part over whole is equal to percent over 100. All right. So you may use a calculator, but I need to make sure that you're showing the correct proportions, right? So for number one, what is 56% of 50, right? The of should give it away that that's the whole, and 56 is obviously our percent, so we're solving for a part. So x over 50 is equal to 56 over 100. So I'm going to cross multiply, and when I do that, I'm going to get 100x is equal to 2,800. And obviously I just divide by 100 on both sides, and I get my answer of 28. So x is equal to 28. Circle your answer, please. I'd pause the video right now and do number two, because it's exactly like number one, but with just different numbers. Number three, 33% of 50, again, there's that keyword of, trying to give it away for us, is what? So 50 is the whole, 33% is obviously the percent, and we don't know the part. So x over 50 is equal to 33 over 100. So we're going to go ahead and cross multiply again, and I get 100x is equal to 1,650. When I divide by 100, I get my answer, and it's okay to get decimals. I get my answer of 16.5. So x is equal to 16.5. And C is in. And that makes sense, right? 16.5 is not half of 50, that would be 25. It's less than half, right? But it's more than a quarter, which would be 25, right? So, I mean, messed that up. A quarter of 50, which would be 12.5, so 16.5. It makes sense that it's about the answer. Let's pause the video and do number four, since it's exactly the same, just different numbers. Number five, it says 155 is 62% of what? So this time we have a different problem, right? 155 is, that's our part. 62% is obviously still our percent, so we got to find our whole. So 155 over x is equal to 62 over 100. So we're going to go ahead and cross multiply, and I get 62x is equal to, 155 times 100, and I get 15,500. When I divide by 62, I get my answer of 250. So x is equal to 250. B. All right, number seven. 64% of what is 7? Again, that keyword is, right? So that is our part. We don't know our whole, and 64 is obviously our percent, right? So we have 7 over x, because we know our part, we don't know our whole, is equal to 64 over 100. We cross multiply, we get 64x equals 700, and then we obviously just go ahead and divide by 64. So in doing that, we're going to get this long decimal. We just need to round. And so x is equal to about 10.9, we'll call it. 10.9. And A is our answer. Okay, again, I would pause the video if I were you and make sure I could do number 6 and 8, because they're exactly like number 5 and 7. Backside, what percent of 86 is 74? So notice this time we don't have a percent. So we have our whole, which is 86. We have our part, which is 74. We need to figure out our percent. So 74 over 86 is equal to our percent, which we don't know, over 100. So 7,400 is what I get when I cross multiply that. 86x is what I get when I cross multiply that. And obviously now all I have to do is divide 7,400 by 86. So I'm going to get a decimal again. Again, just round. So we get x is about equal to about 86%, 86.0465. We can just round to the nearest percent on that one. I'd pause the video and do number 10 if I were you. 17. 17 is, that's our part. What percent of 25? That's our whole. So x is the percent. So 17 over 25 is equal to x over 100. Now we could cross multiply. We could also just say 25 times 4 gives us 100. So 17 times 4 should give us our answer. But let's just cross multiply. So we get 1700 This is what happens when I multiply there. We get 25x, divide by 25, and so x is equal to 68%. D. Please make sure you're circling your answers. I'd pause the video if I were you, and I would do numbers 10 and 12. So 13 through 16, just like the notes, is a mixed bag. I will do 13 and 15, but 14 and 16 aren't necessarily the exact same types of problems, so be aware of that. All right, so what is 4%? That's obviously our percent of 50, keyword of. So we have an x over 50 equals 4 over 100, so we're solving for a part here. So we have 100x is equal to 200 divided by 100, and we'll get our answer of 2. Another way you could have looked at that is saying, oh, 50 times 2 gives me 100, so 40 divided by 2 gives me 2. What percent of 158, that's our whole, is 60, so that's our part. So we're solving for our percent in this one. 60 over 158 equals x over 100. Right, so we have 158x is equal to 6,000. And we're going to divide by 158. And in doing so, I'm going to get a decimal, but I can round to the nearest percent. So x is equal to 37.97, so I can say it's about 38%. Right? There you go. Call me if you have questions tonight. Remember, you have ST Math to do, and remember, test is Thursday, collecting binder on Friday, so get those notes up to date. Good luck.